This is an incredibly interesting piece of equipment here. This is called a plane table. This is mostly reproduction. My Alidade is an original. But here we are going to use triangulation to take a survey. And as I'd mentioned previously, it kind of revolutionized the speed and accuracy at which a survey could be done. There's multiple components to this. We still have the plumb bob, as we were mentioning before. Here's my marking stake to show where I'm going to measure from. There is a compass on the front of the plane table that is fixed in here, and so I can orientate my table to north or south or whatever is convenient. I always like to choose north. And I'm going to put my plane table, could be in the center of the field that I'm surveying, or I could put it on the corner of the field. Whatever landscape I have to work on, we're going to use, as I'd mentioned, triangulation. So to start, we are going to measure from where this plumb bob is to something convenient based on the size that you want to survey. Let's say I'm going to do a 2-acre field or something of that nature. I'm going to measure from this point about 66 feet away, one chain, all right, and I'm going to draw a line to my ranging pole using my Alidade and my pencil. I'm then going to, as we'd mentioned, measure 66 feet away. Now, on the top of this Alidade, there's this beautiful scale worked in, broken down into parts per inch. So if I know this piece of paper, this survey, is going to be about 2 acres, give or take, I will now set my scale using my dividers such that 66 feet is going to equal 2 inches, all right? Something convenient to work with, or maybe 1.5 inches, all right? So I have just now, for this survey on this paper here, set my scale. 66 feet is going to equal 2 inches. Now, we got to make sure the table doesn't move and everything's still oriented to north. That's my baseline. Now I'm going to spin this Alidade around and I'm going to look at the prominent features on the landscape just like I would with the compass. But this time, instead of writing down and looking at the degrees, I'm going to draw a line to that prominent feature. And I'm going to draw a line to the next prominent feature. And so on and so forth around me for a 360-degree view or wherever I'm basically set up to look at. When that is done, I pick this plane table up bodily. I move it 66 feet away to that second point on my baseline. All right. We now reorient the compass back to north. We set the Alidade up along the baseline and I shoot back to my original point, which is now 66 feet away. So I make sure that, yes, I'm still along my baseline. Everything's oriented correctly. Now I move the Alidade. And here's my second point, which is 2 inches away, 66 feet for the scale of my map. And I look at the same features on the landscape I had just seen a little while ago. And this time, when I go to draw my line, where my first line and my second line intersect actually is where it is in reality on the survey. So instead of having to physically go out and measure every little point like I did with the compass, I am now using triangulation to make an accurate real-time survey of the area around me based on those intersecting points. I don't have to go out and measure everything because we've already set the scale that 2 inches is going to equal 66 feet. So you have everything happening in front of you in real time, and if you make a mistake, as I often do, you can see the mistake happen. It's a beautiful thing. And so again, the plane table really revolutionized surveying, and it was very much in use right on up through the late 20th century until GPS came involved. This was a really neat piece of equipment.